Can a dangerous saw blade like this cut wood? How about one with really long teeth, or one that's just a guide? I'm going to find out and hope I live to tell the tale. In the previous video, we tested saw blades made out of all the basic shapes. Those made for some interesting results. It flung wood at me. But now I want to take it to the next level and see just how crazy we can get and how much metal I can remove before something goes horribly wrong. We made a complex rating system to compare these blades and see which one is objectively the best. Just like the last video, I started by designing some saw blades in AutoCAD. We got a million comments about how the tooth geometry was wrong, which, okay, you're right, but I realized that and you don't have to tell me 1,000 times. So I adjusted a few of the old ones as well as made some new crazy ones that I want to try. When we were finished designing them, I threw a sheet of steel on the water jet and started cutting. Cutting out these saw blades is some of my favorite footage from the water jet. Watching it cut all those teeth individually is just so satisfying. It would take weeks to make these another way, but old Large Marge the water jet had these cut out in just over an hour. Now we're ready to get these on the saw and start testing. All right, I'm thinking we start with the rouleau triangle. Now this has a constant diameter, so even though it's more triangular shape, it rolls like a circle. I'm a little nervous. Some of these blades are real sketchy, so I brought out the shield today. Yeah, this time I'm not wearing my lederhosen, so we should be fine. All right, we're ready to go. I'm gonna power it on slowly with the Variac. Slowly, okay, there it goes. Oh man, it's so much scarier for some reason. That's only like half power. Oh dear. Oh wow, that's working like a charm. Look at this thing. That's like way better than any of the ones we did last time. I mean, it makes sense why every single comment on that video was to do the teeth angle correctly. So let's see how this cut quality is. It's pretty good. We did have to flip it over. I didn't make it big enough. I mean, this is really smooth. This one's a little more rough. I wonder why that is. All right, well, the cut quality was decent, 6 out of 10. Okay, here comes the rouleau triangle. Oh, that first contact was crispy. And it looks like the other 2 points aren't contacting. That's very strange because the way I designed this in AutoCAD was perfectly symmetrical. So I wonder if it's something with the calibration of the water jet that's not 100% precise. And at this scale, at this speed, it makes a difference, but 99% of the time, it's unnoticeable. The rouleau triangle took 8 seconds to cut. It got a 6 out of 10 on the quality score, with a cool factor of 5.8, giving it a total of 7.7 out of 11. That puts it in 4th place compared to the blades we tested previously. Well, that did so well. I'm excited to see how this 3-spoke one does. We've removed just about as much material as you possibly can, and we're gonna see if it still works, even with massive gaps in it. I think the slow-mo on this one will be really interesting because there's just giant holes between the teeth. Oh man, that looks crazy. So will it make a difference that it's missing all this material here? Who knows? That's why we're here. We also remembered to bring the Variac this time. This allows you to control the voltage with this comically large dial. So that controls the speed of the blade. So I can hide behind my little shield here and turn on the saw blade safely and then lower it with this big pole. Variac is on. Let's start spinning it up. Let's see if it's balanced. That feels good. That's more balanced than the rouleau triangle. All right, here we go. Okay, we made contact. Wow, that was great. Smells like sawdust. Imagine if we were making our saw blades like this, we would save so much metal. A little bit of burning, not too much though, and there was a little bit of chew out. That's not a real thing, I just made that word up, but we're gonna use that word. As well as on the front here, it flung pieces of the wood out. 7.5 out of 10. Here comes the steering wheel. Ooh, that's a nice little first contact, just a tiny, tiny bit. And it kind of looks like the gaps in the saw blade aren't really making a difference, which is kind of strange. It also looks like, once again, there's only part of the blade making contact. Even though this is perfectly circular, theoretically, you know, based on the software, it didn't really come out completely perfect. Very interesting. The steering wheel took 8 seconds to cut. It got a quality score of 7.5 and a cool score of 7.9, giving it a total of 8.8 out of 11. That puts it in 1st place over our previous contenders. Let's see if anything else can beat it. All right, well now we want to test the same design, but with the spokes at the front of each piece. The idea with this one is that we put the spokes at the front of where the teeth contact to hopefully make it stronger. Right, lefty tighty. I say that every time, it's the best joke ever. Oh, watch this. Let's see how balanced it is. It's pretty good. All right, here we go. Oh, yikes. Something ain't right. Well, that was a little scary. I'm interested to see the slow-mo to see what it was doing. I think the blade must have been moving around. I mean, obviously it was moving around, but I mean moving around this way. Okay, this one certainly had some issues. So you can see the wood is definitely not straight at the beginning. Once it kind of started getting deeper, it kind of self-centered. And after that, the cut quality was great. But because initially it was so bad due to the flex in the blade, I'd say 3 out of 10. Okay, I'm really excited to see this. Interesting. So it's still only contacting in one place, and it looks like it's on the tail end of the first one. And it's really wobbling around. You can see when it speeds up just how shaky it gets. It's taking big chunks with that first one. The second one gets a little, and then the third one hardly gets any. The adjusted 3-spoke took 9 seconds to cut, got a quality score of 3, a cool factor of 8.6, giving it a total of 6.1 out of 11. That puts it into 10th place. Not so hot, but it makes sense because it barely had any support. All right, so that was interesting because the spoke being far away made it floppy. So what will happen if we remove another spoke, and there's only 2 now? It kind of looks like a Pokeball now that I think about it. Because it's connected all the way around, it feels kind of sturdy. But let's see what happens. Did someone say sturdy? Here we go. 2-spoke saw blade. This is only a little sketchy. That feels really balanced. Oh, nice. Oh, it's slowing down a little bit. Oh, nice. That was good. I'm impressed. These are all doing better than I thought they would. I mean, yeah, this is looking like a store-bought saw blade, clean cut. I mean, all right, yeah, it was a circular saw blade. We were testing how much we could remove. Oh, I mean, honestly, this cut quality is perfect. Like, this is about as good as a cut as you can ask for. Go figure, it's a circle and it has all its teeth. Cut quality, 10 out of 10. Okay, the 2-spoke Pokeball. Well, it certainly looks like a saw blade sawing some wood. It is taking out a little more here and there though, further proving the point that it's not perfectly circular and it makes a difference at this scale. It took 8 seconds to cut, got a perfect quality score with a coolness factor of 6.7, giving it a total score of 10.1 out of 11. That makes it our new reigning champion. Okay, so this one only has 1 spoke and it's definitely a little flimsy.
So sketchy.
So I'm very sketched out about this one. It's also off balance because there's weight on this side. The center of mass is definitely not in the middle, but it's not too bad actually. So maybe this won't blow up in my face. Flavored air is quickly becoming one of the best ways to ditch a bad smoking or vaping habit. And today's sponsor, Fume, is a leader in that movement. Listen, maybe you grew up watching a little too much Maddie Smokes and now you have a bad vaping habit. That's okay, Fume is here to help. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that has no nicotine, no batteries, costs 1/3 of your bad habit, and has an attractive design. I mean, take a look at this. There's no plastic here. All I see is metal and wood. I'm pretty sure it's walnut. Good choice, Fume. The best part is it smells great. This mint flavor is lovely. You can use it anywhere, so you don't have to get a felony for using it on an airplane. Or go outside in the middle of winter like I am and freeze your buttocks off. It also has some great fidget toys. Just listen to this. Symphony of crackle. Only great habits sound this way. And check out the tricks I can do with the bass. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. Try Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using code WATERJET, you'll get a free Fume topper. Go to tryfume.com/waterjet or scan the QR code on screen. 1-spoke saw blade, here we go. Let's see if it's balanced. Oh man, oh man. I don't want to go any, oh, it kind of has a resonant, a harmonizing frequency. All right, here we go, we're making contact. I need more power. Oh gosh. Oh man. Holy crap, that is so sketchy. I did not like that one bit. Well, the cut quality is pretty good, but I was a little terrified for my life. Oh my goodness. This is, yeah, no wonder. I was hearing a metal sound. I wonder what it was hitting. Oh yeah, it definitely was. There's marks right here. It was hitting the inside here. That's how much it was moving around. That's crazy. I only had it at like 50% power, but it wasn't really getting through the saw blade very well because you need the power to. So you can hear me turn it up, and that's when it starts to get really sketchy. Don't recommend cutting with one spoke in your saw blade. It definitely suffered in the quality department because the blade wiggled so much. As you can see, it kind of got off and didn't cut straight, and it kind of chewed up the wood. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, the single spoke, there's its contact. Oh boy, that is shaking the entire setup so much more than any of the other saw blades. Oh, and the side to side movement is crazy. This saw blade really suffers from being so off balance and so flimsy. It took 17 seconds to cut, got a quality score of 7.5, a cool factor score of 7.2, for a grand total of 8 out of 11. That's good enough to put it in 5th place. Not too bad for missing most of the saw blade. All right, I'm a little sketched out, so maybe let's go back and revisit the triangle and the hexagon, because a lot of people wanted to see these win. So let's go hexagon first, and then we'll have the amount of teeth that are contacting with the triangle. So you can see we changed the tooth geometry just a little bit on this hexagon. It's sticking out a little more than it was, and it's a little more up than the last one was. So this should make better contact with the wood and give the hexagon the rating it deserves, the bestagon. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Compared to the old one, I'd say this did a little bit better. Oh gosh. I just like nails on a chalkboarded myself. My fingernail on the edge of the saw blade, and since it's like cold out here already, it made it even worse. The cut quality was decent, but not great. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, this time I'm older and wiser, so I can give them a more accurate rating. Okay, the hexagon, those new teeth are really making a difference. Getting some good contact out of 2 of them. 2 of them? But the rest aren't really contacting again. I promise guys, it's not my fault, but it's looking a lot more effective than the last one. Cut in a blistering 2 seconds, got a quality score of 5, and a coolness factor of 5.9, giving it a grand total of 7.6. That smashes the old record of 2.3 and puts it in 8th place. Take the hexagon, put the triangle over it. What do you see? A triangle on a hexagon. That's right, it has half as many points. Let's see how it does. Okay, so again, you can see that there's a slight difference in the tooth geometry. Before, the tooth was down here and it was really just hitting right there. So this one, what we've done is, we bought a property, we made the top stick out so the actual sharp part of the tooth will hit the wood instead of the dull top point. All right, triangle V2. Huh, that was crazy. The wood is looking a little beat up here. I'd imagine the teeth were taking out big chunks every time, so that's why it was so rough on the wood. This is definitely a lot rougher than the hexagon. There's even a massive chunk that got taken out, and look how rough the cut quality is. The triangle is not ideal, but I guess there was a triangle saw blade in the 80s that could do special cuts. Pretty neat, but 3 out of 10 on the quality. Okay, here comes Triangle V2. Clean contact off the rip. We love to see that. And the other 2 aren't really hitting once again. Oh man, that one tooth is really laying down the work here. And it is absolutely decimating this wood. Seeing these wood chips floating in the air really puts into perspective how fast these blades are moving. It took 2 seconds to cut with a quality score of 3 out of 10. Not so good, but a cool factor of 5.4, nearly doubling the previous triangle with a score of 6.3. It's now in 13th place. Oh man, it's too tough to choose. Maybe we go with this one, the old pinwheel. I'm interested to see how this does. This one we'll call the pinwheel. This is what you used to blow on when you were a kid and you'd give you a shot. Nowadays, you just sing skibbity dub 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 yes yes, whereas the other blade was missing half of the inside, this is missing half of the whole thing. Oh, get back behind the cover, Bentley. Here goes the pinwheel. Ah, that was a little weird. Now the tooth geometry is different because I didn't make this design and I was too lazy to change it. So it's not really fair to the shape. However, this is basically a circular saw blade with half of it missing, just at smaller intervals. The wood was a little bit burned because of that, and there's some chunks taken out of it, but it's pretty smooth. We'll give it a 5 out of 10. Okay, here comes the pinwheel. Very interesting, it's making some nice contact, but it's only on about half of the blade again. Now this makes me feel better because I didn't even design this one, so it's not my fault that it's not really cutting perfectly. I once again think it's something with the calibration of the water jet. It looks like it's making some pretty clean cuts though, even though it's missing half of the teeth. It took 5 seconds to cut and got a quality score of 5, but a cool factor score of 7, giving it a total score of 7.5 out of 11. That puts it just behind the hexagon in 9th place. All right, I think it's time for the wacky, what is this one called? The pentagon with spike balls on it. Here's one of the first entries from our Discord member, Waffle Iron. Now this one is crazy. I never would have thought of this, so I'm glad he sent this to us.
Dude, I'm calling this one the Gears of War. It looks like something in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of look like some gears too, so it works. I think this one might perform the same as a pentagon. Well, actually, I don't know if 3 teeth are gonna hit at the same time or just the one. Here goes the Gears of War. Wow, that one was really good. The score is gonna be neck and neck, whoever wins this. Okay, the Gears of War, one of my personal faves. It looks like there were 3 teeth hitting, so that helped with the quality. It's quite good. There's a little bit of burning, but there's not very much chew out. So 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that gives us 15 teeth that are hitting. That's like a dopentagon, I don't know what a 15-sided object is called. So I mean, that was pretty good quality, 8 out of 10. Okay, here comes the Gears of War. Those first 2 teeth are doing some good work and the rest aren't. We love to see that, but they are taking out some big chunks. It's really interesting to watch this wacky shape just move around and actually cut through this wood. This design worked great and it only took 2 seconds to cut through the wood. And it had a quality of 8 out of 10 with a cool factor of 7.2, giving it a solid 9.5 out of 10. That's enough to put it in 2nd place. Very impressive. Okay, I think before we go crazy, guess what? We're testing the sun.
Oh, put that in front of the sun. That's crazy.
Yeah.
These are really sharp, by the way. I don't know how rigid these are. I feel like they're all gonna kind of fold back, you know?
Yeah, ooh, yikes. Comment your Elden Ring build down below. Yeah, this one's probably one of the more dangerous ones.
I poked it last night when he brought them back, and I cut my finger on it.
The water jet don't mess around. All right, LeBron James, coming right up. Let's hope this doesn't shoot a steel bolt flying at the speed of sound somewhere. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. That's weird. It's kind of hard to get through the wood. I'm pushing really hard. Oh man, that was scary. That was making some screeches. Sounded like a witch being burned. Oh my gosh, no way. That's crazy. I didn't even notice for a second. Cause it's so uniform. It looks like it's supposed to be like that.
That's so scary.
That's wild. I thought I noticed it going faster and then kind of slow down. I was like, oh, that's kind of strange. I kind of just figured it was because there was increased resistance as there was more wood to cut. I guess there was more going on than I thought. It really is the sun now. Okay, the sunshine. This one got absolutely destroyed, and so did the wood by it. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but this is absolutely like completely bumpy.
Oh yeah, it's kind of wavy.
Yeah, the cut is not straight at all. It's like, it's got all these random bumps and valleys for some reason. And obviously the saw blade underwent a permanent physical change, so it's not really useful anymore. This is a disposable saw blade, one-time use. So 2 out of 10 on the cut quality, and it also loses points because it's scary. Okay, praise the sun, here it comes. Oh, very interesting. Taking out the tiniest of tiny chips here. Not doing a ton at a time, but with some baby steps, it's getting there. It kind of looks like a broom or a brush brushing away the wood. We actually reached the limit on the recording for the slow-mo camera because it can only record about 7 seconds at a time. So unfortunately, we can't see the teeth all bending. It took 13 seconds to cut a 1.5 on the quality score, but an 8.6 on the cool factor. So that gives it a grand total of 5 out of 11. Wah, wah. That puts it in 18th place. Yikes.
All right, Daniel. The sunshine's still bothering us, but we like that for the slow-mo, right?
Amen, amen. We got some crappy live footage so we can get some good slow-mo. I think next we pay Michelangelo a visit. We pay a visit to the 1500s.
Is that the last one?
No, we have this one.
Oh, I'm so afraid.
Yeah, the single tooth is gonna be sketch.
But not to take away from the craziness of this one.
Yes. This is the Vitruvian physique. Michelangelo would be proud. The idea here is that it's all perfectly circular. So the feet should be contacting just as much as the hands are. The head won't be, but as it spins, it should be perfectly circular, theoretically. I don't know, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Some of them aren't even really sharp. This one's probably just gonna be stupid, but that's kind of the point. There he is, there's the man himself. Here, let's put your belt on, Michael. Get you nice and tight in there. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. How well does the perfect body work as a saw blade? I think the feet will be doing most of the work. Let's see if it's balanced. Ugh. Ah. Oh no. Oh man. This is not working very well, and I'm not surprised. That is so much smoke. All right, get that off. Holy crap. That was really sketchy. Thank you, Michelangelo. You know, I think he was onto something with the whole physique thing, but definitely not with a saw blade. All right, the Vitruvian physique. You know, I think because his hands were not shaped like saw teeth, they didn't really help, but the feet kind of were. So I mean, it got the job done, but the quality is pretty awful. I mean, massive chunks missing all over, and the cut is extremely rough. There's surprisingly not really any burning, but all in all, pretty terrible. But you can't hold him like Buzz Lightyear, and that's a bonus. However, cut quality, 2 out of 10. Okay, Da Vinci's perfect man. Interesting. You almost can't even see the amount of wood that gets taken off with each hit. But it is starting to smoke. Because the shape of these hands and feet is so goofy, there's not really anything sharp to actually grab the wood and cut it out. So it's kind of just punching its way through the wood. It took the longest out of today's cuts at 26 seconds and only a 2 on the quality score. But the cool factor was 8.1. However, it's not very heavily weighted, and that makes our total 4.2. Shame. All right, I've been putting this off the whole time, but I know you all want to see it. The single tooth blade. Somebody in our Discord commented that we should do a saw blade that's just one big tooth. So we made this bad boy. Well, let's hope we did our job correctly and balanced it, and hope it doesn't blow up. Oh no!
Is it too big?
It's too big.
No way.
Oh, frick. Someone's using a table saw.
Yeah, I heard
A
that
chop saw. We should go offer them some blades. Don't forget to check out Fume in the description or the pinned comment below.